Am I the a-hole for not honoring my wife's dying wish? Posting from a throwaway account. 6 years ago my wife passed away after a short illness. The day before she passed away, it seemed as though she may pull through. She said to me, "If I die, you're not allowed to date." I laughed and promised I wouldn't. Both of my daughters were there when she said it. That night things went horribly downhill and she was gone by noon the next day. I've spent the last 6 years raising my girls and finally sent my youngest off to college in August. I have been involved in a few support groups for people who have lost spouses for the last few years, and earlier this year I really connected with a woman who lost her husband around the same time. I wasn't looking for a relationship, but we have been on a few dates and I've been trying to keep it concealed, at least in the meantime. We ended up going to a restaurant and our server was one of my older daughter's friends from high school. She must have called or texted my daughter because last night my daughter called to scream at me and basically told me I was cheating on her mother and I had no right to dishonor her request of me. I am pretty furious she called me like that and I had to hang up and told her I'd call her in the morning when I've had some time to reflect. Now all I can think of is how horrible I am for this. I'm 45 years old and I need companionship, but I don't want my daughters to think I'm spitting on their mother's grave. My wife's sister also texted me to tell me that my wife's request was unreasonable and unfair, and that her family is not going to judge me if I move on and she would talk to my daughter about it. I don't want to ruin my relationship with my kids over this, but I am so damn torn. Am I the a-hole for not honoring her request? Edit. Wow, thank you for all of the comments. I want to clear up that when she said it, I did take it as a joke and I think she was joking as well. The issue, as pointed out by a few, is that my kids were present and took it seriously. They were 14 and 12 at the time. She had been hospitalized with severe pneumonia and had been on oxygen for 2 days. All signs were pointing to a full recovery, and it was during this time she made the statement. None of us expected her to go downhill so quickly overnight. Update: I called my daughter this morning and asked her if I can come to her campus for breakfast with her. She goes to school an hour away, so it isn't a bad drive. Apparently, my sister-in-law did talk to her last night and told her she was being irrational and unfair and that I deserve to be happy. My younger daughter, who goes to school several hours away, also told my older daughter it isn't a big deal and I'm allowed to live my life. We had breakfast and walked around her campus for a few hours. We talked about her mom and how much we all loved her and miss her. We had some laughs and cries and I told her I would never try to replace her mother and anyone I date would have to get along with my girls. She is still upset, which I acknowledged, but she agrees it's unreasonable to expect me to go the rest of my life alone. She apologized for her reaction and genuinely felt bad that she acted that way. I suggested we go to therapy together to work some of this out, but she's really busy at school so wouldn't be able to until winter break. I feel like I left with her understanding and really hope she won't hold this against me. I was not even looking for a relationship, especially at a support group. We met in March, went on our first date in July and have only been on 3 more since. We have not even been intimate, so I'm not exactly sure where it's going. I appreciate all of the responses and advice from everyone. Sweetheart, do you remember that I laughed and Mom and I talked about other things? It was a joke between us. I'm sorry that you took it seriously. I had no idea. I've not dated because I was focused on you two and I wasn't ready. I will always love your mother. No one can erase that. But losing your spouse and losing your mom are 2 different things. Our paths on the grief journey aren't the same, although they are parallel and involve the same person. You lost a mom, but I lost a companion. I'm lonely. The woman your friend saw me with isn't even someone I'd call a girlfriend yet, but a friend. Someone I met in a support group for people who have lost spouses. Am I not to even talk to women? Have friends? Am I supposed to wait in the house for crumbs of contact from you and your sister, and wait to join your mom? I've tried very hard to raise you two and want you to go off to college and establish your life and not worry about me, but you screaming at me tells me that maybe I was wrong in not showing you a little bit of what it has been like for me more. I'm sorry you were upset. Maybe we can do some counseling together. Firstly, none of us know your wife personally, but was she maybe trying to make a joke when she said not to date anyone after her? Secondly, you're not the a-hole for this. You're allowed to move on. You're 45, your daughter is completely insane to think that you're not going to date or see anyone else. I do think you did the right thing to wait until your daughters were grown though to start dating. You're allowed to love other people, that doesn't mean you don't love their mother anymore, it's just a part of healing and moving on.